The goals have been raining down on day 2 of the soccer tournament from WakeMed Soccer Park in Cary, North Carolina. After 2 straight wins, Pat McAfee's Concafa SC hosts a Wrexham Red Dragons team also boasting an unbeaten start. So which of these two can take top seeding into the round of 32 in the hunt for TST's $1 million prize? It's hello from Tony Husband and Michael Lahoud, back with you ahead of a big night here at TST. Both these teams know that they go into the weekend, round of 32, but the bracket now takes all importance, so this game is crucial for both still.
Well, it's a matter of pride, but also a matter of purpose, because as we've seen from last season or last campaign, you want to be on the right side of the bracket, but you also want to be the side that feels that you are master of your own destiny. Speaking to players in each camp, there is a sense of must-win about this matchup. Coming into this was what both teams circled. Final day, group stages, let's see who's the big dog.
Got some big players as well, talking of big dogs, as we take you to our players to watch, presented by soccer.com.
Well, for Wrexham, it gets no bigger than George Boyd. The guy's a legend, certified legend at TST and legend of the club. He's got that motor about him that is the sort of motor that can cripple teams. He scored a banger on this very stadium field. I think it was last night. So look for him to be the heart and soul in the engine room.
And we got $1 million man on the other side.
Yeah, well, Concafa, they have their own engine room presence as well with Chad Porch. I had a conversation with Tony Miola, and Big Tone's U.S. men's national team legend. He said this. He said he thinks Chad Porch might be the best player at this competition. He proved that last campaign. Let's see if he can bring the magic tonight.
Pat McAfee has high expectations for this Concafa group. But this is a big challenge. Wrexham, Concafa, live from TST, next.
The soccer tournament is presented by RBC Wealth Management, the official wealth management partner of TST.
Midfielder number 11, Brett J. Midfielder number 8, Zach.
Welcome back ahead of what should be a big climax to Group F. A reminder of the rules of the TST, 7v7 soccer like you've never seen before. 2 20-minute halves, no offsides, it's throw-ins or kick-ins. Ball must be advanced every 8 seconds. Every match ends in target score time, and we will explain more about that golden goal principle as we go on. Starting lineups for both of these teams. We look at some of the names to watch out for in the starting lineups on both teams. There's a good mixture of experience, both indoors and outdoors for both, Michael.
Yeah, a good mixture of old and young. When you look at the likes of Aaron James, he's got license to get forward. He's got that goal-scoring awareness for a defender, but for Wrexham, without George Boyd on the first 11, Jake Hyde is going to have to be the one to assume the responsibility in the final third. Concafa, they're spoiled for riches in the attack. Brett J, he's due for a big moment.
Chad Porch, who got the famous goal for La Bombonera last year to win the tournament. One to look out for as here we go with the climax of Group F. Wrexham Red Dragons and Concafa. Concafa are in their change strip of white. Wrexham, the Red Dragons, just that tonight. All in the red shirts, white shorts, red socks and the white socks and the red trim. And this will be interesting to see how it plays out as Ruggles loses out early. That's a sweeping clearance away. That's Mijatovic, who got the game winner against Real Atletico last night. Remember, both these teams have won their first 2 games. Porch with an interception. Brexhay trying to get on the end of that. Bentosa trying to bring it away, but referee has spotted that it was a slide tackle, which of course you can't do in TST.
No, you can't. I found out the hard way. I think I got a yellow card in 11 seconds getting stuck in, but it's not 11v11, it's 7v7, so them's the breaks.
Michael, part of the Borussia Dortmund team who are still alive in this tournament after they beat Plymouth Argyle earlier on. That might be a moment of history in this tournament, you know, fastest cautions perhaps. Who knows? Right, Mijatovic now is sizing this up. Brett Shay's there as well. What a great left foot he's used to such great effect over the years. 3-man wall, early chance for Concafa in this Group F finale. He leaves it for Mijatovic, who fires that one almost out of the stadium.
And almost into the beer garden. Maybe he was thinking about that when he hit it. Mijatovic, all kidding aside, I saw him last year. Every time there was a dead ball situation, goalkeepers were quivering in their boots. Initially, we thought Brexhay, who can hit them with that left foot, was going to take it. But on this Concafa team, Pat McAfee has entrusted Mijatovic with every dead ball.
Have to say well done to all the spectators who've braved the elements this afternoon. It's been a pretty rainy day. It's cleared up a little bit, but let's get an update on how it looks for Pat McAfee and all of his group. Alexis Nunes is down on the sideline. Alexis.
Yes, Tony, I am back. Just made my way over from Kun Agüero's team, who suffered a shocking loss, but that pitch definitely was coming up a lot more waterlogged than the one that Wrexham and Concafa are playing on right now. I had a little chat with Pat and the boys, and they said they're liking how the pitch is looking right now. They're feeling confident and expecting a win.
They have been in confident mood indeed. Thank you very much, Alexis. Yeah, this field looks pretty good right now. Not cutting up too much, but we did see a little slip. There's an appeal for a handball there as Jake Hyde had the header in, and that was Mijatovic. And some smart play from him to win his side a goal kick from the restart.
Talking with the likes of Mike Grella for Concafa, he said, and I really feel this as someone who played on this very stadium field, it rained earlier, he said he's excited to get on the field and really knock the ball about. For those of the players who love to combine, keep the ball on the ground, this is the sort of surface that you can really revel in and shine.
Ruggles launching it forward, scored a fine goal last night. And look at the battling going on from Derek Huffman. A brace for him against Real Atletico. They've alternated goalkeepers so far. Concafa, they've opted to go with Michael Stone again for this game, so he's between the pipes. That far end of the field. Wrexham put it back in play. They have been excellent so far. Convincing victories as Hyde is penalised. Pit Real Atletico 3-1. Led that one 3-0. And then led against Bournemouth 3-0 by half-time on the way to a 6-2 victory over the AFC Bournemouth Premier League legends, who were really given a going over in that one.
Tony, we were talking yesterday, especially in the evening match between Selección Portrero and Atletico Madrid, about how much experience pays off, and experience that Drew Ruggles is about to pay off here.
Ruggles for Porch, near post, deflected away for a corner.
Players like Drew Ruggles are an example of how important it is to have experienced players in your team. Ruggles, a smooth operator, already has a goal in this competition, but teams like Wrexham, teams like Concafa, they're so lethal, they're so clinical, and they're efficient in how they manage the pivotal moments.
Mijatovic dealing well with the pressure from McAllinden, and then the goalkeeper forced into a bit of evasive action, and that was painful for Aaron James. We play on. Ruggles for Porch, on the same team this year. And ultimately out where it will be kicked back into play from the corner. Huffman into the near post, and Shea arriving, but they were strong through Tozer, and we'll have another corner.
Been impressed with Tozer, where anytime there's a 50-50, he's won just about every duel.
There's the corner. Oh, it flicked off Huffman. Don't think he quite expected it to arrive, so McAllinden brings it away. Here come the Red Dragons, slipping it through as well, and oh, there was danger behind through Jake Hyde. They couldn't find him though. James now for Wrexham. Third year in the tournament, this club that's become so ascendant and so associated, of course, with the Hollywood glitz and glamour. The triple promotions, they're into the English Championship, their actual first team club, and dreaming of a path to the glory of the Premier League, perhaps. Who knows? It's been a remarkable story, and of course it's been so well documented along the way. Alex Moore, inside and shooting straight at the keeper. Ruggles hooks it away.
I like the footwork from Michael Stone, because as Alex Moore is chopping on his favorite left foot, Stone, he's keeping an eye on the ball.
Oh, but that was nice skill from Kelly. Ultimately out of play over on the far side. Remember, the substitutes are rolling. 3 in the subs box at any one time. The Wrexham men, you know, Michael, I mean, they will have been watching the women's team just an hour or so ago, just over on the other field here. An extraordinary defeat. Unfortunately, they snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. They were 4-0 up against Ultrain after the 40 minutes of regulation, went into target score time, and they lost 5-4, 5 unanswered for Ultrain to beat the Wrexham Red Dragons women's team. And that is tied for the biggest comeback in TST history. It is the biggest comeback in the women's format as well. So it just goes to show the kind of drama we can have. That match finished in a 2-on-2 clash. It was quite extraordinary stuff that played out in driving rain as well, which added to the drama. And just a reminder of just what can happen here.
Well, the elements providing the theatrics, and the players, especially on the women's side, providing the theatrics. I feel for Wrexham's women's side, because they have quality players, but not out of it. Competition just underway, getting started early, and looks like there's a bit of jawing between Ruggles and company getting started as well.
Ruggles and Brandon Barker squaring up to each other. Our referee is Servando Burma, so a stern word from him. Ruggles retreats for now. Wrexham to put the ball back in play from the free kick, with Callum Edwards picking up possession for them. Back it goes to Yannick Parks, who starts in goal. We haven't seen George Boyd yet. Wonder if there's some injury concerns over the record goal scorer, or perhaps they're just resting him because they essentially know they will be competing in the last 32.
Until we hear otherwise, I'm going to go with option B, and that's where the experience comes in. You know you're into the next round, the round of 32, and although George Boyd can run like the wind, he can run forever, still got to manage these minutes. He's no spring chicken.
He's now got 14 goals in this tournament. He's the record goal scorer. Speaking of goal scorers, Stone's actually come a long way upfield here. Let's watch what Concafa can try and do with this. Alvarez on the turn, the double zeros. There's Grella. Forward it goes for Gordy Gerson. But on the subject of goal scorers, Emmanuel Ledesma, who's been very impressive for Pat McAfee's boys so far, we thought he might have gone out of last night's game with a bit of a knock, and we haven't seen him thus far out on the field, so we could have the same situation when it comes to Ledesma, who has 2 goals so far in the tournament. Oh, Grella, he nearly got away with the turn. Edwards on the way. Wrexham driving forward. And cleared away. Oh, that's beautiful skill, and then squared by Grella to be cleared. Still we wait for the first goal. We're halfway through the first half. And that one over the top from Callum Edwards. He has 1 goal already in the tournament, but firing over from close range there. Visit soccer.com, the official store of the soccer tournament. There's the former Premier League and England defender Zat Knight, stands at 6'6", into the game. Justin Miram also has come on, former Iraqi international as well, over 30 caps for his country.
So George Boyd finally making an appearance.
That's right. Eagle eyes of Michael Lahoud spotting Boyd is into the game. Barker with a shot over.
Both teams starting to fill each other out a bit. I give Concafa the edge in terms of possession, build out. When they get into the final third, that's where they can pick you apart with decisive passes. For Wrexham, they are built to counterattack. It's a good side defensively, but they get numbers forward in a flash.
James Chester, loads of experience in him, a very, very talented player who came through the ranks of Manchester United. In the game for Wrexham Red Dragons. Parks to clear. Pressure came from Huffman, who's on the ball now. This is Miram, who's looked really good when he's been on the field in this tournament. Ruggles, he's won it back, and I think he was looking for that. James Chester was having none of it, neither was the referee. George Boyd, off and away for Wrexham Red Dragons. Barker, once again for Boyd, hit a banger in the last game.
Oh, what a strike that was.
Might be the goal of the tournament for
yeah,
me so far.
It's definitely up there so far. He just plays with a sense of joy and just a drive and a will to win.
Moore, and then the shot blocked as Boyd tried to add to that tally of 14 goals. By the way, if you're hearing us talking about goals and things you might have missed, go to the TST website, which will keep you up to date and show you the goals, the highlights, also wide range of social media as well. Look up TST and you'll find all the digital action, the goals, the bangers, the big moments, the storming of the McAfee stage. It's all there.
Yeah. I love how every single team, when they play on the Pat McAfee field just behind us from the main stadium, they're not shy about making their presence felt. And we saw the first team to do it was Drip FC. You score and target score time. And what do? You go and you become on national TV storming the show. And Pat, he loves candid moments and just embracing it.
In fact, that's what we're going to do at the end of one of these games. We're going streaking across the field and storm the stage. So just get yourself ready. I mean, you're fit as a fiddle, so you're going to have no trouble.
I brought my running shoes just for that.
Yeah, you're doing well. And by the way, I watched Michael, everybody, with Borussia Dortmund earlier, keeping their tournament hopes alive, and he hasn't lost a step, honestly. He looked imperious out there. Borussia Dortmund were better with you on the field, my friend, I would say.
Thank you. I'll pick up the Venmo that I'm going to send you after that comment.
Okay. 6 minutes left, first half. Final round of the group stage, remember. There's some interesting scenarios for these two teams, depending on where they finish. They're going to finish either first or second in their group. That could be quite different because the group winner is going to play a third place qualifier, so likely a team that may have lost 2 of their 3 games. And if you get the victory, then you're going to play, well, that's a third place qualifier, but it's come second and you're going to play Group C second seed, which could be anybody from, well, unlikely to be Nani FC, but maybe the 610, Drip FC or Club America. There's the standings just to illustrate the picture for you. So you can see there the total goals. So far, Wrexham Red Dragons, again, in goal-scoring form. Second best goal scorers in the history of this event, coming into their 3rd year involved. And on those standings, Michael, the tiebreaker always worth considering. It's head-to-head is the first tiebreaker. Goal differential is the second. Total goals scored will be the third. So Wrexham would always be well placed in that situation, you would expect.
They definitely will be. But you look at the other bracket when we have the conversation of who either side could potentially face, and whoever has to face the side, the likes of Drip FC, they could be one of the dark horses when it gets to the knockout round. Should they make it, they play with a sense of belief. And I watched their match against Nani where they looked out of it and they gave Nani a scare in target score time.
Zat Knight with the interception, but he carried it too far. Pretty even stuff so far, and not a lot of goal mouth activity. Both goalkeepers, for the most part, untroubled. Tozer, the 35-year-old, who was a National League winner with Wrexham on the way up through the English pyramid. Welsh club playing in the English leagues. That's the way it works with the 3 clubs of Wales who play in the English Football League: Cardiff, Swansea, Wrexham. Newport County, I should remember them as well. Anybody in Newport furiously throwing things at their device, whether it be the television or iPad right now.
I think your phone's ringing right now. It's the Newport County fan who's in the stands in Rosette.
Absolutely.
Have a word.
Newport, fine place, I have to say. Many a few good nights out there. Well, moving towards the latter quarter now of this first half.
This is becoming a trend for top teams who've taken care of business in the first 2 matches. There's no real impetus so far. Players like George Boyd and Chad Porch, they've looked the likelier to drive their teams forward, but it's slow movement, still feeling each other out a bit. All it takes is for either Porch or Boyd to decide that they're going to change the intensity.
Reigate was on the run, they played it back. Oh, great save. That was smashed goal bound. Mijatovic again with another one of those rockets. Breckshay plays it out. Reigate, time, space, but not the finish.
Miscue from Reigate, but credit to Mijatovic. He had an opportunity before on a dead ball situation where he kicked it almost out of the stadium. But that's the player, if you're going to get a shot from distance from Concafa, that's the man that you want on the ball, driving it. He's got a laser beam of a strike.
Still goalless then. The 2 other teams in this group, of course, both been beaten by these teams that we're watching now. They're going to play on field 4 at 6 o'clock local time. That's Bournemouth and Real Atletico, both 0-2. Not technically finished yet, but of course both have lost by multiple goal margins, so their challenge is their goal differential as well along the way. So it's a mighty task for them as this ball's whipped into the box and headed away by the red shirts of Wrexham through Aaron James.
With the expanded number of teams and the increased number of spots for third place teams, it emphasizes the importance, and Zat Knight just kicking it far, it emphasizes the importance of being competitive, not letting the game get away from you. You can take bad results, but as long as you're competitive, it tees you up nicely for the final game. And that was a conversation we had with Borussia Dortmund in our second game, was let's make sure that we are competitive. We keep ourselves in every single match because their place is up for grabs, whether it be first, second, or third.
Something clearly worked, because you boys of Dortmund put 2 in the net very early against Plymouth in your final group game today, didn't you?
It's called German lager. Try it for breakfast.
I've heard 1 or 2 things about the McAfee Hotel and how much they've been enjoying the hospitality. And you're in the same one, so... Porch, he just glides across the field at times. Shea, Mijatovic. Porch has made the run in behind. There was a little bit of shirt tugging going on there, but Aaron James got away with it. Got a great right foot on him, and he's just shown us exactly that for Kelly. And it took a deflection off the retreating Breck Shea.
Whether it be James or Chester, one of them is always tasked to man mark Chad Porch. Chad Porch will always start in the middle of the park, but his movement...
Shea saved.
His movement can be a nightmare for most opposition because he's so clever. He can start on the baseline, check in off the defender's shoulders, or the shoulders of defenders, if I can get my words right. That's why he's very heralded in terms of the respect he gets from the likes of Tony Meola.
And almost a respectful game between these two sides as we hit half-time in this one. Wrexham Red Dragons and Concafa, both of them of course know that they're heading to the round of 32, but there's a lot at stake for them in terms of their seeding, as we explained at the start of our broadcast tonight. So we will go to half-time. Mike Greller and Pat McAfee and co. goalless right now with the Wrexham Red Dragons. We'll have the stats on the other side of the break from here at the soccer tournament. Welcome back. TST Day 2 and Wrexham Red Dragons and Concafa SC bringing the curtain down on their Group F experience. They both know they're heading for the round of 32, but in what position? And that will matter. Michael LaHood, let's have a look at the statistics at the end of that first 20 minutes.
It really told the story of the first half where both teams are evenly matched. They're approaching this final group stage match with a sense of pragmatism, not trying to get anyone injured, see it out. But it's the beauty of target score time. There is always going to be a winner. So I want to see a bit more changing in intensity and aggression from either side in the second half.
Those first half stats brought to you by RBC Wealth Management. So scoreless so far. We know for one thing, it will not stay that way. The second half of Wrexham and Concafa is coming up next.
Today's broadcast is presented by Coca-Cola, the official fan refreshment of TST.
Group F coming to a conclusion in beautiful Cary, North Carolina. WakeMed Soccer Park is hosting TST for a third straight year, and we go into the second half with Pat McAfee's Concafa and the Wrexham Red Dragons. Two teams perfect so far in this tournament, 2 from 2, but now it's all about trying to get that top seed and win the group. Indeed, here's Boyd, the record goal scorer, setting up the chance, and we have a goal right from kickoff. Jake Hyde breaks the deadlock, and the Red Dragons strike first blood. Third goal of the tournament for him.
In the first half, I thought Jake Hyde actually had a very quiet half by his standards. But that's because he wasn't playing with George Boyd. And as I said, all it took and all it takes is for Boyd to change the intensity at which Wrexham attack. It's that second touch where he nestles the ball, and it freezes both Drew Ruggles and Mihajlovic caught in no man's land. And as soon as Hyde nestles the ball into the ground, and goalkeeper's dead to rights. He's got the composure to put it in the top corner.
And they changed goalkeepers at half-time, so they've subbed out Stone and brought Philip Edimadu on, and his first act has been to turn around and pick the ball out of his own net.
Never a good sign when you're doing that, but still plenty of time to pick himself back up, and the back line and Concafa to pick themselves back up.
And if we, as we see, Bournemouth are 1 up on Real Atletico, that's early in that game, just 4 minutes in, a 6 p.m. local time start for that. Pat McAfee opened his show on ESPN today by stressing how important it was and how he wanted to see his team finish top of the group, get a good seed, and that would put them in good stead for the rest of the tournament. Porch, oh, what a reply! Oh, the $1 million man with another piece of TST magic for McAfee and co.
And you can hear the crowd singing, oh, Concafa, because they have one of the most special players. Chad Porch has a decisiveness about him. As soon as he shifts it over to his right boot, that was destined for the bottom corner. But he plays with a sense of swagger when he's on the field, and Pat, the swagger king himself, is digging it.
Pat clearly looks like he's resting himself for the knockouts as well tonight. Not dressed, he's just going to be watching from the side. Had a starring role last night against Real Atletico. So a quick response, that Wrexham lead did not last long, and this game blowing open at the start of the second half. And just as Porch pulled the trigger, as Bournemouth go 2 up on Real Atletico, 2 goals inside the first 5 minutes in the other Group F game coming to a conclusion. Bournemouth need a big win, or so do Real Atletico, to stand any chance of going through as one of the best third-place finishers. But he wants that higher seed, Pat McAfee. Talked about it on air today, and his team have responded to that challenge just then of going behind, albeit very briefly. But this one is one for them to defend. Boyd off the post, and again it's a double post and cleared away. Incredible.
And now Stefan Mihajlovic, that's there, the leader of this team, the leader of the back line for sure, has amazing instincts. When Edimadu steps out of his goal, I mean, look at Mihajlovic. Because he steps 3 yards to his left, that's why he's able to put himself in the best possible situation to react quickest and kick that ball out.
Well, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again, but Wrexham needed to find another way through. Both on the woodwork, as Ruggles brings it upfield now. Much brighter and pacier start to the second half as Group F comes to a conclusion. Mihajlovic. Wrexham have dropped everyone back behind the ball. Now Boyd advancing upfield. Mihajlovic is looking for the angle. It's blocked, and here's the counter-attack in transition from the men in red.
Go now, go!
Here Tony Meola barking the instructions from the sidelines. He's got Tab Ramos there assisting him as well. That's there's some experience there and football knowledge in the brains of those two individuals.
It's amazing how approachable they are. I feel like I've gotten to talk with everyone at Concafa, with all the stories I'm sharing, but the excitement, the respect that Tony Meola has for this competition, it's a testament to what's happening at TST for those two legends of the game to be here and to make their presence felt.
Keeper's going to try and keep this in, and successfully under pressure from Zakaria Hassan, who's come on, one of the second half substitutes for Wrexham.
I'm surprised we haven't seen Hassan on the field. He terrorized the game last night, just smooth operator on the ball.
Well, he's lurking around and being watched by Zat Knight at the moment. 1-1 then, 5 minutes into the second half. In the other game, AFC Bournemouth and Real Atletico, a 2-0 Bournemouth lead early in that game. Watch it via the TST website, which of course has got all the information on the tournament, all the games, the goals, the highlights, the news as it happens. It's been a bright start to the second half. Jake Hyde's been in the thick of it. Alexis is talking to him. Alexis.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. I've got the man who got on the score sheet right here. Jake, talk about instant impact. What did you guys talk about at halftime? And oh, sorry that you conceded.
That's not a good timing, is it? At half-time, basically, we just wanted to take our chances a little better. When we get the turnover, make the most of it. And luckily I got put through and finished to make it 1-0. Not that it's doing much good now.
Don't worry, there's still plenty to play. As we know, there's target score and all of that. We've seen some incredible comebacks, unfortunately, like against Wrexham women earlier on today. But how are you finding the conditions and the pitch out there? Because it's been not the nice day. It kind of reminds us of being back in the UK.
Exactly that. We're a little bit more used to it, I think. I think the first day was too hot for us, and today this is what we're more conditioned to.
All right, what do you think for the rest of the game now? What's the plan now that Concafa have the lead?
I mean, we got nothing to lose now. They got the lead, right? So yeah, I guess just a little bit more front foot and then try and get the equaliser. But again, because of this target time, as long as we stay in the game, you've always got a chance.
Well, you guys have been doing well. Have you found it difficult adjusting to this kind of football?
Yeah, it's very different from what we're used to. But do you know what? I think we're starting to get it, and I think we're starting to link up well, and it's getting fun. It's exciting. I actually really enjoy it.
I love that. All right, Jake. Well, we'll let you get back on.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Yeah, thank you, Alexis. And you can just sense as players come and take part, and you get to experience this, Michael, so your insight is great. As players start to take part in this event, their love for it grows. I mean, the competitive element comes into it. They're just having the time of their lives out there.
I think it's the mental challenge that really sparks the interest first, because if you're a player coming from the UK or playing at a high level, you're used to having offside. Well, there's no offside at TST, and then less numbers.
It's Hassan over the back post.
Then the fact that it's 7v7, something that you do in training the day before a game or leading into a big match. So the intensity is there, but things like no offside, things like target score time, it holds you accountable and keeps you accountable in the ways that 11v11 or full field football never has.
The Concafa lead-taking goal was from Mario Alvarez, as we were chatting to Jake Hyde, and it was some finish, wasn't it?
Oh, it really was. I think because he took it early, and Alvarez wrong foots Parks. Well, I like that sense of confidence. I like that cheekiness about Alvarez, that he would try and go near post.
So they've turned it round. Concafa 2-1 up. That goal they conceded early in the second half, only the second goal Concafa have conceded in the tournament so far. So as much as we talk about the scoring prowess of both of these teams, they've actually been pretty solid at the back. They have a good back door locked up a lot of the time.
The key difference from last year to this year, the addition of Drew Ruggles. For as good as he is going forward, and Drew Ruggles actually had the assist on the Alvarez finish for the go-ahead goal so far, that makes it 2-1. He just gives a sense of calm to the back line.
Here's Hassan. He's away from Knight. Keeper thought about coming, and he didn't. It was a good decision in the end because he makes a good save down to his left. Edimadu. Wrexham looking for the leveller. Here they come again. Hassan once more, just thwarted by the keeper once, and that time it bangs off Porch and is picked up by Miram.
Massive save from Edimadu. Didn't have the best of starts to the second half with the goal that was given up just when he came on, but it's a way to redeem yourself.
Much cooler evening tonight. In addition to all things TST, don't forget, log on to tst7v7.com/watch to find the other TST matches on YouTube throughout the tournament. Delighted to have our windows on the ESPN network again across the tournament this year, with more games than ever before, some 20 games across ESPNU, ESPN Plus as well, culminating in the finals Monday night. Sebastian Salazar, Hercules Gomez will be on the mic for those finals, men's and women's. $1 million winner takes all under the lights in Kerry. Ambitious ball across field, but Wrexham doing well to keep it in play, only for it to be brought away by Miram.
The approach has changed from Concafa in the second half. Each player that's on the field, outside of maybe Chad Porch and Mihanovic, they give minute bursts, and Mike Grella doing his shift. The commitment from everyone has to be applauded, and it comes from one person. It's the skip of the ship, Pat McAfee.
Here's the goal scorer, Alvarez, trying to set Miram away down the left. 12 years, a star of Major League Soccer, Justin Miram. Served a clutch of clubs with great distinction.
Biggest club being Columbus Crew. I've had many run-ins with Justin Miram on a football pitch, and Justin Miram was made for something like TST 7v7. Great 1v1 player, can wrong foot you in an instant, can go left, can go right. The end product is still the same.
Yeah, 36 years of age, but the game brain has not gone, even if perhaps he's a step slower than in those halcyon years with the Crew. Big header in from Knight, and then a tumble which ultimately brings the ball to the feet of Hassan. It's opened up for him. Oh, good save. Edimadu parries it away for the corner, and he's being worked in this second half, but he's proving up to the challenge.
It's becoming the Hassan Edimadu battle. Edimadu getting the better of Hassan on both occasions. See the footwork from Hassan. As I said, he's a tricky customer. Low center of gravity, small inside, size, powerful in stature in terms of the punch that he packs when he's on the ball and just the shot that he has.
Edwards for Wrexham in red, looking for the leveller. Coming short for it is Kelly. Infield for James, Aaron James, back for Kelly. Oh, it was a lovely ball squared across. It would have been lovely if someone had been on the end of it.
I think that was an attempted shot, not cross in the end. And if it's a cross, I would like my teammate, if I was Wrexham, to be more selfish. The entry pass was the stuff of dreams, but the final end product, one of the few times we've seen Wrexham not get it right in this group stage.
Reget back on the field for Shea. Reget hits it. In step, left-footed and over the top it goes. Now let's hear from one of the stars of Pat McAfee's Concafa so far. We haven't seen him play tonight. Emmanuel Ledesma's with Alexis.
Yes, thanks so much, Tony. I've got Manu Ledesma here with us, someone who Concafa has been relying on your goals a lot, but we're not seeing you out there, Manu. What's going on? Resting?
Yeah, I'm resting a little bit today because my hamstring, my legs are a little bit tired. But yeah, because we don't have any problem for the group. So obviously we want to win the game, but we have a lot of talent in the team. It's not just me, you know, like. And then I can get this is the fortune that I have. We have a lot of talent, and I can get a rest a little bit for a while, you know, for just for a game.
Now, you guys have had 2 comfortable wins. I was speaking to Mike Foss earlier, and he said he wanted a bit more of a challenge, which Wrexham have been. How do you think you guys have been doing against them?
Oh, now we play against a good team, and then we keep doing the same thing. Just keep the possession of the ball, try to find some shot. We sleep a little bit, and then we get a goal. Now we wake up, we react, and then we lead in 2-1. So we are in the game.
You're very much in the game. What do you make of the conditions out there?
Oh, this is beautiful to play, yeah. This is muy bueno, yeah, muy bueno, yeah.
How is Pat McAfee Spanish?
Oh, Pat is so good. Sí.
Pat, tell us something in Spanish.
Aquí estamos, mi amigos. Yo soy Pat. Sí, sí.
Pat McAfee, is there anything he can't do? And I know before we let you go, you wanted to say hi to someone special.
Yeah, sí, le quiero mandar un saludo a mi hijo Bastian, que me está mirando desde Cincinnati. Con nuestro amigo Johnny, con mi esposa Jessica, así que nada, mandarle un beso. Hijo, te amo y perdón que no pudiste venir.
All right, Manu Ledesma there telling his son hello to everyone in Cincinnati with his wife and his good friend. Back to you, Tony.
Yeah, greeting that we're delighted to pass on as well. Thank you very much, Alexis, and we look forward to seeing Emmanuel Ledesma in the later stages of this competition for sure.
What addition he's been to Concafa. He's a natural-born goal scorer. And he has a knack for coming up with the golden moments. I played with him when I was at Cincinnati. It's good to see him back in the city of Cincinnati working with the academy. Great to have him here again at TST.
Bournemouth 3 up on Real Atletico now. So they're giving themselves just a chance at getting a good enough goal differential that might make them one of the best third-place finishers. And that is a Bournemouth team that is stacked with plenty of talent from their best generation of a decade ago, but of course new to the tournament this year and finding their feet a little bit. Well beaten by Wrexham.
It took him a while from the defensive standpoint to get used to the rules, to the dimensions of the field.
Shea, oh, that was nice. Poking it round the corner and winning a free kick. Reminder, if you win the group, you'll play a third place qualifier. So in theory, you'll be in a better portion of the bracket going through. So right now, Concafa set to go through 3-0, but of course we have target score time to come. So when we hit 40, the drama really begins.
Momentum shifting now in Concafa's favor, and I think a big reason for that is Chad Porch is back on the field. Wrexham doing a lot of the grunt work, and I want to give him a big shout out for that, because although the legs may not be there in the ways that they were when he was a youngster in the prime of his career, Stoke City, FC Dallas in Major League Soccer, a lot of the MLS teams he played for, the brain is still there, and it's little things and getting you big results. Of he gets the ball by his opposing marker, and he's not going to be able to get by him, but he waits for the contact and wins a dangerous free kick.
And right up at the end of his career, of course, he wore that, what is now one of the most famous shirts in soccer, that salmon pink Inter Miami, back in the pre-Messi days, one of the early years of that franchise in MLS.
This might end up being a collector's item once Messi comes and goes.
It could indeed be. Ruggles made it inside for Gordy Gerson. Mijatovic now. We're moving towards the end of regulation time, and that will take us into target score time, which at the moment the target would be 3. So this would be very much game on still between these two powerhouses. Referee wants to see this taken again. Huffman's over there having a word with the referee and wondering why, but here we go. Forward come Wrexham. And that's another good ball in the box, and it's put over by Jake Hyde. Oh, it's a glorious chance.
Yeah, chances are coming left and right for the Red Dragons. We saw a shot come cross moments before, and uncharacteristic miss from Hyde. He was leaning back when that ball came across, and he was always destined to go over the bar when you do that.
Final minute of regulation. Porch for Concafa. Goal now for them would give them a little bit of more of an advantage going into target score time. As it is, it's a slender lead. Oh, given away. Maybe time for Wrexham. On the break now. Numbers in red shirts pouring forward. Mark Albrighton, a former Premier League winner with Leicester City. Cultured left foot on his feet, I have to say. Produced many a memorable assist. Going to be a man to help set something up now for the Red Dragons.
I always admired him when he was at Wrexham. His work ethic, his work rate. He always seemed the smartest person in the room or in the stadium. Just give the ball to Jamie Vardy. Good things will happen.
Yeah, quite a combination. As the whistle goes and we hit 40 minutes, Concafa take the advantage into target score time. They were behind early in the second half. They came back to turn it round. And we go into target score time with Concafa 2-1 up. The target score is 3. Join us in a moment.
The soccer tournament is presented by Adidas, the official fanwear and performance footwear partner of TST.
And we welcome you back to Target Score Time here at Wake Soccer Park in Cary, North Carolina. This is how it works. The target score is the leading team score +1. The first to that target score wins. The real jeopardy is as we see players removed every 3 minutes. And so we start at 7v7, but we may not end there. Who knows, as we go into target score time. In this, the conclusion of Group F. For two teams, perfect so far. But Wrexham trailing by 2-1 going into this target score times at night, and this Concafa group with the advantage. They need just one more goal and they'll go through. But there's a man who knows all about finding the back of the net, George Boyd, the record goal scorer in this competition. So I think we've got still a few twists and turns to come, Michael Luke.
We've got two different brands and styles in target score time. Wrexham, they're more run and gun. They like to get out with tons of energy. In Concafa, you have a lot of indoor players, arena players, MASL players. So Stefan Mihajlovic and Drew Ruggles, those are the two that are two important players on the pitch for Concafa, because they dictate the tempo. And I wouldn't be surprised if they sit on the ball, knock it about, Chad Ports as well, and get it down to 6v6 or 5v5 before they start trying to get that winner.
Away we go. Concafa now carrying a 6-2 record historically in this competition. Wrexham made it through to the round of 16 last year. That they were well beaten in the end, though, 5-1 by Reggae Rovers. But they scored 39 goals across their first 2 years in this competition. But it's a very different looking team that's come back this time.
More experience, I'd say, than they typically play. Going back to year one, they had Big Lee Trundle as their target striker, and he wreaked havoc against most back lines. But that Reggae Rovers match, Reggae Rovers just outmuscled them and outran them athletically to get that win.
Edimadu stays in goal for Concafa as we're into this third phase now. Target score time. Michael Stone played the first half. And are we going to see this cagey kind of approach? We watched West Ham earlier essentially play themselves into trouble. They ended up losing the game. Oh, the goalkeeper's going to have a go from distance over the top.
Not the opportunity, not the decision that Concafa would have wanted, or Pat McAfee would have wanted. Edimadu does have decent feet, probably better feet than Michael Stone. That's why he's the starting goalkeeper for target score time. But the decision-making there, your goalkeeper, your main job is to attract pressure to you when there's this many numbers on the field. Only a handful of teams have goalkeepers that can get a good or decent strike on target.
Shea trying to bring it down and turn. Pressure coming from the team in red. That's the Red Dragons of Wrexham. Wanting to get a Wrexham win on the board. Remember the Red Dragon ladies team beaten in target score time in the most extraordinary fashion earlier, conceding 5 unanswered against Ultrain to lose that game, having been 4-0 up going into target score time. So that shows you what can happen. Here's a chance for Concafa to win it. It's into the side netting.
It comes off a mistake in the middle of the park from Hyde, and Hyde maybe still thinking about that missed opportunity he had in regulation time. It's Mario Alvarez, who right now has the goal that gives Concafa the 2-1 advantage going into target score time.
Yeah, scored from the other side of the field earlier. This time he was raiding down the left, unable to find the net. Bournemouth 4 up on Real Atletico. So they're having a real go at overhauling their goal difference. Ruggles brings it forward. He's had a go from distance. Porch as well has lashed one in for Concafa. That was the equaliser. Remember, in this game, it was Wrexham that scored first. Early in the second half, we had a scoreless first half. 5-0 Bournemouth over Real Atletico, who I think now are bowing out of this tournament, and fast.
They're a team made up of athletes. You can be as athletic as you want, you can cover as much ground as you want, but you still have to have a feel for the game. And I like that there's different sorts of representation in the athletic community. At the end of the day, it's getting your education in football, and they definitely got an education in the group stages.
Those goals for Bournemouth are interesting in the other game that's going on in this group at the moment. They came into this -6 goal difference. They've scored 5, so they're pulling themselves up towards parity now, and that could matter with 8 best third-place teams going through. And remember, from this group, the winners will play a third-place qualifier. Concafa are trying to just nail it home now to get the third and finish this off. Take their place in the round of 32. Alvarez, a deflection. Boyd was there to block. And at that point, we've hit the mark where we need to lose a player each. Went a little bit beyond the 3 minutes, but referee looking for the most natural kind of stoppage in the game that he could find. So there we have it. And rolling the dice early at 6v6, Mijatovic takes the bib and goes in goal.
Don't be fooled by the bib, and don't be fooled by the boots or the lack of gloves. Mijatovic is a very astute goalkeeper. I saw him do this last season for Concafa, and he came up with some major saves to then give them the advantage in target score time to get the winner.
And he's watching there as that one's volleyed over. James Chester, the 36-year-old, former West Brom, Stoke, Aston Villa, and a Welsh international as well. Over the top. So here is the sweeper keeper, we can call him, Mijatovic. And he's got room to move it into. Resembles basketball a bit at times like this, doesn't it? Here he goes with a shot and a win. Blocked, follow up, wide.
He almost called game with the follow-up, and I like the arrogance about that opportunity. The Wrexham Red Dragons parting like the Red Sea, so Mijatovic, who has quite the strike on him, says, thank you very much, I'll take it from here. And he hits into the ground and on a wet surface. It's been raining all day long, and a wet surface like this, that is such a smart play. And you want to do that, take those sorts of gambles. At any given moment, a goalkeeper can have that go through his gloves, or he can ricochet off of him or ricochet off a defender. Anything can happen.
Yeah, we often say at moments like that, have a dig, why not? And you've explained exactly why you would. You just want to perfect that skill of it, just bouncing in front of the keeper. Skidding off the surface. We had a lot of rain earlier, but we're thankfully nice and dry now. As this is Porch from Mijatovic's pass. We're at 6v6, remember, in target score time. It's just 1 goal needed by Concafa, and it's Derek Huffman who's on the ball. Back to Mijatovic again, and look at the space they're giving him. He's thinking about it, isn't he? There's a crowd in front of him. Oh, Ruggles, brilliant touch. And can it be turned in? But Ruggles, it will. There's the goal. And Concafa take the win. Oh, they are perfect. And they could be the team to watch as we go into the round of 32. We're on the march with McAfee's Army. 3-1 the final. And a golden fleece moment for the veteran, Drew Ruggles.
As I said before, experience is everything, and of all the players that have the most vital experience, Drew Ruggles. He was on $1 million winning team in year 1 with Newtown Pride, and he has a knack for big moments when it comes to TST 7v7, the coolest customer in this entire complex, in this entire stadium, and on their roster, comes up with one of the coolest goals you're going to see in the group stages. And of course, Pat McAfee giving him his big dues and his big golden fleece. Mijatovic, I want to give him his flowers because that's precision passing, but keep an eye on how Drew Ruggles frames the goal. If at first you don't succeed, it's about second chance opportunity, so you keep trying and trying again. And I love the celebration. I'm surprised he didn't throw those money signs at him because he's smelling dope.
Well, Pat McAfee's team 3-0. Let's hear from the man himself with Alexis.
Yeah, that's right, guys. 3-0, Pat. Oh, my days. You couldn't have asked for anything more perfect.
Yeah, I love what's going on here. You know, you talked to him earlier. Manu Ledesma was taking the night off, a little bit of rest, you know, because of some muscle stuff. Absolutely. And having Porch step up and then obviously Ruggles score there. These are first-year guys in the Concafa culture. They fit in perfectly. And team was really good. That was a great team. That was a good test for us. And now we're the #1 seed heading out, and that's what it's all about.
Well, I spoke to someone we know very well, Mike Foss, kind of our boss sometimes, earlier on, and he said he wanted to see you guys challenge because he felt that, you know, it's a bit sus when you guys get through too smoothly like the last 2 games. Do you feel like this was a challenge, and what do you take from it?
Yeah, Mike Foss is a great man. He's not my boss, but he is a incredible man, and he's done a great job putting his team together. Everything that Foss has done with Concafa has worked out wonderfully. Last year, we had to figure it out. Feels like this offseason we did. And, yeah, you thought maybe we'd get a little bit too comfortable after the big win last night. The boys did celebrate. We did celebrate last night. That is part of the Concafa culture. We're going to have a good time. But it felt locked in today. And also, one of my friends who was 22 years in the Marines, 8 years as a drill instructor, gave a nice little speech. Rallied the troop.
Final question. I know something else that will make you very happy tonight is if the Pacers get a big win against the Thunder. Where are you going to watch?
Can't wait to watch with the crew. The NBA Finals are amazing.
Stanley Cup Finals last night went to overtime, and
TST is all. It's a great time to be a sports fan, and lucky to be here.
See you in the knockout.
Hey, let's go! Thank you, Alexis.
Well, there we go. Apologies for some of the sound interruption in that, but we got the general message. Pat McAfee, Tony Meola, and this Concafa group, they go marching into the round of 32. For Michael Lahoud, it's Tony Husband saying farewell for now.